Hello, this is a tutorial on tools that I recommend that you use for working with clay. And the first tool I'm showing you is my working surface that I use, and it's a floor tile that has a smooth surface and no texture that you can find at hardware stores. The brand of clay that I use the most is Sculpey, and there's other brands out there like Fimo, stuff like that. And I like to buy a large block of white to mix in. I just cut off pieces whenever I need it because since I use it the most, I run out, and instead of buying small ones, I just buy it in bulk. This is a good tool to buy. It's a color mixing tool, and if you buy it, it comes with a cool mixing chart and it tells you how to make things lighter or darker, or how to get different colors. It's pretty easy to use. And you can use it for getting a uniform amount of clay. Say you want to make a whole bunch of cupcakes with the same amount of clay for each cupcake. You can just put a little clay in whatever size you want, and it'll be measured out perfectly for each cupcake. If you want shapes, you can buy cookie cutters, and some cutters you can find have beveled edges, so it has a nice clean shape to it when you cut the clay. I usually find them in baking sections of craft stores, and you can buy them in all different sizes. And you can even make your own with a pencil top. I make a tutorial that you can see by clicking here. And these are called Kemper cutters. They're really nice because you can use it to cut the clay, and then it has a spring on the back that you press and your shape will just pop right out. It's really easy to use. This is a tool called an extruder, which you use to make coils that are in a different shape rather than a round tube. And it comes with these plates with different shapes, and what you do with them is you unscrew the top, put your shaped plate in, screw it back on, then you place your clay inside, and then use the plunger to extrude a shape. If you'd like to make a texture on your clay, you can use these texture plates, and they come in a lot of different shapes and textures. Here's a packaged one. I think it's by Sculpey. Yeah. And you can make your own by using mold material. I have a tutorial on how to make your own molds. You can find it by clicking right here. And you can also buy pre-made molds, like faces, and they make different shapes too. I have these ones for dolls. You can make like their bodies. Three products that I recommend you buy are translucent liquid Sculpey, um, clay softener for when your clay gets dried out, and some glaze for finishing projects. Um, my favorite tool to use is this needle shape tool, and it's kind of like a spatula shape. I use these a lot for like pressing down pieces or just moving items that I don't want to mess up with my fingers. It's really useful. And I also use a hook tool a lot for like creating texture or anything like that. And a good knife tool is good to have for maybe cutting off little pieces that you don't want. And these are, I think they're called embossing tools for scrapbooking, and I really like them because they make nice dents in clay. And here's a razor blade. You're gonna want to buy a good knife, and this is a flexible clay blade, which is really useful. So you'll need a good knife. And a really good texture maker is peppercorn. You can usually find it in your spice cabinet, and a ball of rolled up foil is really good to use. These are soft blending chalks that I found in the scrapbooking section of a craft store, and I like to use it for, say you have something that looks baked, you can brush on a little brown on the outside and it makes it look like it was actually in an oven. It's really nice. A good tool to have is a roller if you don't want to roll everything by hand. And this is just if you want to make tiny little pieces of clay to go on top of things, a spice grinder. And you could use rubber stamps to make indents in the clay. And if you're mixing TLS, translucent liquid Sculpey, with clay, a good thing to have is a cup or a bowl. And if you want to make toppings on something, make it look like sugar, you could use sand, which I found at an art store. And these are little tiny beads that I found in a scrapbooking store. These are pony beads that you could use as like sprinkles, or if you're making a doll, they could be eyes. And a good thing to have around is wire and these are eye pins and little loops to go around it. And you'll probably want to have a pair of pliers with a wire cutter. So you can make the eye pin shorter if you need it to be. And I bought 2 pairs of pliers so that it's easier to open the rings or bend wire. If you don't want to roll out your clay by hand, I recommend buying a pasta machine, and you can always adjust the width between the rollers, so you could have thicker or thinner clay rolled out. And finally, I recommend you buy a cheap throwaway foil pan for baking your items in, so you don't contaminate any of your cookware.